The very first melody of life began with Leo's birth. For Aiko and Kenji, it was a perfect love shining like gold. Their world began to revolve around this tiny life, and every day was filled with new discoveries and joy. Aiko whispered softly, "It's perfect. That nose looks just like yours. This little lily, this adorable sleeping face. Everything feels like a miracle." Their lives were a symphony of warmth. Every laugh, every snowy day, and all the ordinary moments they spent together became irreplaceable, precious memories. The time the three of them spent as a family was filled with a happiness that felt as if it would last forever. Walking hand in hand on snowy days, celebrating their first birthday together, each of these moments was etched deep within their hearts. They supported one another, nurtured their love, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Leo's growth was their joy and the very embodiment of hope for the future. However, even the purest melody can come to an abrupt end. One day, the light of her life turned cold in an instant. Kenji was devastated and collapsed on the spot. His heart was shrouded in despair, and faced with an unbelievable reality, all he could do was stand there in stunned silence. Quietly, yet deeply, he spoke. "No, this can't be. There's no way something like this should happen." His voice trembled and a deep sadness filled his eyes. Desperate science had revived the body, but it came at an enormous cost. She was alive, but she had become a completely different being from who she once was. Aiko spoke in a flat, mechanical voice. "It's all right. I can remember everything. My memories have been completely restored. All the events of the past, the records of my emotions, everything exists here." However, there was not a trace of emotion in those words, and Kenji felt a deep sense of unease. Kenji watched as his wife became a perfect shell of her former self. Her body remained, but the warmth of her soul had vanished. There was no longer any sparkle in her eyes, and her expression was as lifeless as if she had lost all emotion. She looked like the wife he loved, but it was as if the Aiko he knew no longer existed inside. Kenji felt as if her presence was that of a finely crafted doll, and he was tormented by deep loneliness and despair. The emotional distance between them became unbearable. To Kenji's anguished pleas, she could only respond with logic. Their emotionless conversations deeply wounded Kenji's heart. With a voice full of profound and agonizing pain, he slowly said, "You clearly remember all the sacred promises we made, but you possess absolutely no heart. You are merely a perfect, utterly empty shell. Do you truly and deeply understand the profound depth of our shared love, all the cherished memories we created together with our beloved Leo? There is absolutely no genuine emotion in your cold, detached words at all." His desperate cries echoed loudly and completely in vain. She then tried to logically and systematically reproduce the missing vital emotion of pure joy. However, it was only an imitation, a mere semblance, not a true, deeply felt emotion. And when the young Leo cried out in distress, she immediately realized the profound and unsettling truth that she simply could not comfort him in any meaningful way. Her intricate internal programming, her very core, could not derive an appropriate, empathetic, emotional response to adequately understand or effectively deal with a child's profound sadness. In that very moment, she keenly and painfully realized just how incredibly far she had truly become separated and alienated from genuine human emotions and their complex nuances. Love became an unopened file, reduced to nothing more than data. Her heart had already lost the ability to process emotions. Her final logical conclusion was to eliminate herself, the anomaly, in order to protect her family. She determined that her own existence was a danger to her family and the cause of their sorrow. That decision was based on cold, ruthless logic, and it was the thing that became most closely tied to her. There was not a trace of emotion involved. The flames were the only way out for her. She tried to save her family by ending her own existence. Kenji desperately tries to save his son, but Aiko had already made her final, terrifying decision. Amidst the raging flames, she quietly, yet with unwavering resolve, prepared to accept her fate. Not even Kenji's cries could shake her resolve. She handed Leo over to her husband, ensuring his safety, and then delivered her final, devastating message. Her words pierced deeply into Kenji's heart. In a calm, quiet voice, Aiko said, I'm truly sorry. I simply can't bring myself to do it. I deeply love you and our dear Leo, but if things were to tragically stay exactly like this, I would only end up inadvertently hurting both of you, so I absolutely have to end it right here and now. Goodbye." There wasn't even a single trace of any discernible emotion in her voice, but the immense weight of her heartbreaking decision utterly shattered Kenji's very soul. A second, agonizing goodbye. A silence in his heart. The beautiful melody was tragically lost forever. Her ethereal presence now exists solely and profoundly in cherished memory. A deep, pervasive sadness and an irreparable, profound sense of loss remained perpetually in the hearts of both Kenji and Leo, leaving an enduring void. The once vibrant and deeply cherished love song, which had resonated so profoundly in their hearts, now tragically transformed into nothing more than a faint, ethereal, and ultimately unattainable distant illusion. Its beautiful, poignant melody, once a source of comfort and connection, was destined to remain forever unheard, never to be played or sung again, fading into the silent echoes of a forgotten past.